So בעזרת השם נעשה ונצליח, והשם עלינו ברחמיו ירוויח. The main subject of the show today is going to be a review on Megillat Ruth. Okay, so for the last 1300 years, it's a custom that the Jewish people will read Megillat Ruth in Shavuot. So, where is the source for it? Well, suddenly we decide that we're going to read Megillat Ruth. We have to understand where is the source. Where is the source of reading Megillat Ruth? So, Chazal tell us in the Gemara in Yerushalmi. As you all know, there is two different Marot. There is the Bavli, that it's the Babylonian, the Gemara that's written in Babylon, and there is a Gemara that's been written in Eretz Israel that's called the Yerushalmi. And the Gemara in the Yerushalmi, in Masechet Sofrim, Perek Yudalet, that means chapter 13, Halacha Yudhet, that means Halacha, everyone understand the word Halacha? Okay, Halacha Yudhet, that means 18. There the Gemara says, Ruth במוצאי יום טוב ראשון של העצרת. עד חציו הוא משלים במוצאי יום טוב אחרון. From here we see that Hazal tell us in the Gemara in Yerushalmi that we read the Megillat Ruth on Chag HaShavuot. Here's the source for it. Now we understand why do we read Megillat Ruth on Shavuot. Any questions so far? No. Let's move on. Where do we know who wrote Megillat Ruth? Many people will say it's the same like Megillat Esther, that Mordechai and Esther wrote the Megillat Esther, נכון? You would think so. No. Megillat Ruth, according to the Gemara of Baba Batra, Daf Yud Daled Amud Bet, that means page 14, folio 2, Hazal tell us there. Hazal explain who wrote Megillat Ruth. Hazal tell us in the Gemara in Masechet Baba Batra that Shmuel HaNavi, he was the one that wrote Megillat Ruth. The prophet Shmuel, he wrote Megillat Ruth. Can you believe it? That means that Megillat Ruth is not a simple Megillah. Now you must understand, Megillat Ruth was long before David HaMelech born. That means before even the building of the first Beit HaMikdash. Now we're going to see who was Ruth. I'm going to bring two different Gemarot, and from that we'll see who was Ruth. The Gemara in Masechet Horayot. Daf Yud Amud Bet. That means page 10, folio 2. Rabbi Yossi, Rabbi Hanina, Omer. Rabbi Yossi, Rabbi Yossi used to say, in the name of Rabbi Hanina, okay? Ruth הייתה בת בנו של עגלון מלך מואב. That means that Ruth was the daughter of the son of Eglon, the king of Moab. Then it said, who was Eglon? Eglon, the king of Moab. Who he was? Listen to that, who he was. It's a very famous king that we hear about him alone. He's a very wicked king. It said that Eglon, the Gemara continues to say, Eglon was the son, Ben Beno, Shel Balak Melech Moab. You remember Balak, the wicked king that called Bilam to kill the Jewish people. So in the Gemara in Masechet Horayot said that Eglon was the grandson of Balak. And Ruth was the granddaughter of the grandson of Balak. That means that she was have a relationship. Listen, it's a royalty family. Not simple. A princess, huh? The Gemara in Masechet Sanhedrin in Daf Kuf Hey Amud Bet, that means 105 folio 2, it says like this. Rabbi Yossi bar Huna. Rabbi Yossi, the son of Huna, Omer, he used to say, Ruth הייתה ביתו של עגלון מלך מואב. Ruth wasn't the granddaughter of Eglon. She was the daughter of Eglon. That means that she was a proper princess. So from here we see that Ruth come from a royal family, not a simple girl. Okay? But we have to understand that we're going to go now and see what happened with Ruth. Why do we read the Megillah dafka on Shavuot? What's the connection? What? Because Shmuel HaNavi wrote the Megillah, I have to read it. Oh. Because she was a daughter of a king, she was a princess, I must read it on Shavuot? No. You understand what I'm saying? Let's see. So I'm going to bring 5 reasons. There's many more, but I tried to collect the main important one. Why do we read Megillat Ruth on Shavuot? In a Midrash in Yalkut Shimoni, the Midrash in Yalkut Shimoni, Halacha Taf Kuf Tzadik Vav, that means 596, there it's explained why do we read Dafka about Megillat Ruth on Shavuot. And it's like this. On Shavuot, what did we get? We get the Torah, נכון? To get the Torah is one thing, but to become a scholar person in Torah, you have to put a lot of effort. You know, many people can tell you, I read the Torah, I know, but to become a scholar person, that means that you have to learn a lot. To reach to such a higher level, you have to put a lot of effort. And a matter of fact, not only effort, you have to work very hard. Ruth, we learn something very important here. Who was Ruth? Ruth was, we say, a princess, a royal family. She converted to Judaism. She accepted the Jewish religion on it. She left the house of her father. She left all the luxury life. And she moved, and she converted, and she married the one son of Elimelech, one of the sons of Elimelech. And shortly after that, she became a widow because her husband died. Next week we're going to explain. What happened after that? Elimelech died. So she and Naomi, that means she and her mother, when I say she, that's Ruth, she and her mother-in-law was poor, poverty. She suffered a lot. Although all of that, she didn't left the Jewish religion. And she carried on and done kindness with her mother-in-law. She never left her. Remember, she was a princess. She can go back to her father's palace. Live like a queen. And who knows? She can marry someone else and have a beautiful life. No. She took on herself the Jewish religion. When she accepted that, she lost her husband. She became a widow. She became a very poor person. We'll speak about it, please God, next week. Not only that she accepted that religion, she didn't left her mother-in-law. So what do we learn from it? Hesed. That the main reason that we receive the Torah, and when we receive the Torah to become a scholar person, you have to put a lot of effort. Ruth put a lot of effort and suffered a lot to come under the wings of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Liron, you wanted to ask something.
Why did she convert?
Sorry, I can't hear. Knocking at the back. I can't hear nothing. Say again?
Why did she convert to Judaism?
Why did she convert? Because she married...
So I'm saying because she met somebody, Jewish bloke.
She married the son of Elimelech. Elimelech was a rich man that lived in Eretz Israel. We'll explain next week. There was 2 sisters, Ruth and Orpah. They both married the 2 sons of Elimelech. I'll explain it next week, because if I explain it now, you're going to lose all next week. And Elimelech was a rich man that ran away from Israel during the famine. Why? Because Hazal said that he didn't want the poor people to knock on his door to ask for charity during that hard time that it was the famine in Eretz Israel. So when he gone to Moab, he was a rich man. The son also was rich. It's only nice for a rich boy to marry the princess. But they converted first, before. Hazal explained there that both of the daughter of Eglon, that Ruth and Orpah, converted properly. And then they got under the wings of the Almighty. And then they married the children. You follow? Okay, so according to that, sorry.
My understanding is that didn't she only convert afterwards?
No. She converted before. There is a mahloket among the sages. Is the children of Elimelech married Orpah and Ruth before they converted or after? But next week I'm going to bring all of that. I'm going to go through all the story, through the 4 or 5 chapters that there is in Megillat Ruth. I'm going to summarize it, so we'll know when you come Shavuot, when we read Megillat Ruth, we'll understand what are we reading about. Many of us go through Megillat Ruth in Shavuot. I don't know if we even understand what we're reading about, what he's talking about. So please God, next week I'm going to summarize the Megillat Ruth, so we'll understand. When we sit, please God, in Shavuot, we'll know who we're talking about. But today I want to speak about the main character as Ruth, who she was. In the Gemara in Yerushalmi, in Masechet Hagigah, Perek Bet, that means chapter 2, Halacha Gimel, the law, the halacha, everyone understand what is halacha. Okay? Halacha Gimel, halacha 3. Hazal tell us, you know why we read Megillat Ruth in Shavuot? Listen to that, what they say. The Gemara there say, Hazal tell us, David HaMelech born and die in Shavuot. Okay. So, what does that have to do? What does it say in the end of Megillat Ruth? In the end of Megillat Ruth, it tells us all the dynasty that came after that from Ruth. I'll explain next week how long Ruth lived. You know Ruth, that was the grandmother. Ema Mamlacha, they call her. She managed to see the grandchildren become kings. For many years she lived. She lived, Rabotai, listen carefully, until Shlomo HaMelech. Shlomo HaMelech was the son of David HaMelech, nachon? No. She lived to see Shlomo HaMelech sitting as a king. Not only that, in the end of Megillat Ruth, the Megillah tells us the leniency, where David HaMelech come from Ovad. Remember? Because who came? Ovad came from Ruth and Boaz. And then came? No. Ishai, that was the father of David HaMelech. And from Ishai came David HaMelech. And from David HaMelech came Shlomo HaMelech. It will show us all of that. So Hazal say in Gemara, in Masechet Hagigah in Yerushalmi, to tell us that because David HaMelech, that became the first king from the tribe of Judah, came from that Ruth, that was the grandmother, Ema Mamlacha.
So she was over 100.
What 100? Much over 100. David HaMelech reached, David was young. David only lived 70. She saw David. She saw her first son, Ovad. Then the grandson, Ishai. You understand? Then David HaMelech, that was the grandson. Then Shlomo HaMelech. Do you understand?
But who died that, you say who died? Was it her husband that died?
She became a widow to her husband.
No, why?
Then she married Boaz. We'll explain next week. If we go through it, you're going to be bored next week.
But you said because he died, and that's how we got Shavuot.
No. I say that.
Not how we got Shavuot. Why?
Eglon was the king of Moab. He had 2 daughters, right. Ruth and Orpah. Okay? Remember that. Then came Elimelech. Elimelech had 2 sons. These 2 sons of Elimelech married the 2 daughters of the king of Moab. Okay? Ruth and Orpah. Mahlon v'Kilion. Then, the 2 sons of Elimelech called Mahlon v'Kilion. Okay? When they married them, shortly after, the father died. Elimelech, the father. After that, the son died. So Ruth and Orpah become widows. But I'll explain next week what happened. The mother was Naomi. That was the wife of Elimelech. We'll explain next week. I'll go through it. You understand?
Yeah.
So in Megillat Ruth, in the end of Megillat Ruth, the Megillah tell us about the heritage, about the leniency of Ruth. And in the end come David HaMelech. That from him start all the king, the dynasty of the king. And from him gonna come Melech HaMashiach. Therefore in Shavuot, we're reading Megillat Ruth. That's according to the Gemara in Yerushalmi Masechet Hagigah. Now, we explained last year, we brought all the names that Hag HaShavuot have. Hag HaShavuot have one of his names, Hag HaKatzir. That means the harvesting festival. Why? Because in Hag HaKatzir, that's the time that they're harvesting the field, the wheat. Okay? And the story of Megillat Ruth, when does it happen about Ruth? All about the harvesting time. When she gone to the field in Bethlehem, and when she met Boaz, when she gone as a poor person, she didn't have nothing to eat. She and her mother-in-law, Naomi. And she was collecting the pe'ah. That was the pe'ah, leket shechecha bepe'ah, that they obligate to leave. The wheat that fell on the floor. You think? That's the leket. You understand? That's when Boaz saw her, how she's sitting. She's sitting so modestly. And he asked the people that was harvesting, working for him in the field, who is that woman? That she sits so modestly. They didn't know. We'll speak about it next week. The fourth reason why we read Megillat Ruth and Shavuot, Megillat Ruth speak about a woman that came from Moabite. Was a Gentile.
Yeah.
She took on herself the Jewish religion. She converted. She became under the wing of a Jewish religion. Underneath the wing of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, she accepted the Jewish religion. Not only that, what did we receive on Shavuot? The Torah. Nachon? The same like we received the Holy Torah on Shavuot, she received the Jewish religion. That's what for we read Megillat Ruth on Shavuot.
At the same time.
Now I'm going to do with you something that's called gematria and the hidden thing behind it. You like some gematria?
Excuse me, Rabbi. Did she convert in order to marry the future husband, or
Absolutely.
just
The two brothers, Mahlon and Kilion, that was the sons of Elimelech, married the two sisters, that was princess. One of the conditions is, if you want to marry us, convert. When they convert, they marry them. Okay?
Thank you.
According to the hidden thing that there is gematria, listen to that. If you take the word Ruth, Resh, Vav, Tav. Nachon, Philip? You agree with me? Correct me if I'm wrong. Resh, gematria, 200. Vav, 6. Tav, 400. Together, 606. Nachon? That's the gematria of the name of Ruth. The word Ruth, gematria 606. Agree? There is any accountant here? Yes. Correct me if I'm wrong. What other mitzvot, the other nation, obligated to keep how many? 7. Nachon? 7 mitzvot bnei Noah. 7 law of Noah. Nachon? Soli? You agree with me? 7 plus 606, 613. What did we receive on Shavuot? 613 laws. The mitzvot. Nachon?
The mitzvot.
That's why it's come to tell you the truth. The reason that we read Ruth, if you take her name plus the 7 mitzvot that she had before she converted, okay, and then she converted together 613, gematria equivalent to the 613 mitzvot that we receive in Ma'amad Har Sinai in Shavuot. Now we understand why we read Megillat Ruth. Okay. So what? Because gematria, because the Gemara say, that's why I'm reading Ruth, or because David HaMelech born and die in Shavuot, I have to? Let's see what it says. So now I'm going to go to a bit deeper level to understand why do we read Megillat Ruth. I'm going to go back now to the Gemara Masechet Avot. Sorry, the Mishnah Masechet Avot. That's one of the Mishnahs that I really love. I'm trying at least to do one Mishnah in depth every night with my father, Sheikh here. And it's like this. In chapter 1, Mishnah Bet, that means Perek Aleph, Mishnah Bet. Shimon HaTzadik Omer. Shimon HaTzadik used to say, על שלושה דברים העולם עומד. On 3 things, the world is exist. It's like this, על התורה, על העבודה ועל גמילות חסדים. I will translate. על התורה, studying Torah. Everyone understand?
Yeah.
על העבודה, what is עבודה? There is a מחלוקת among the sages, amongst the Rishonim. The Rambam say, עבודה, proper work, go to work. In that merit that you work, it's a mitzvah to go every morning to work, and on that merit that you go to work, you're keeping the world exist. The Gemara, Hazal bring in a Gemara, no, avodah shebalev. What it means avodah shebalev? The davening. That means davening and praying to the Almighty. Okay? We're not going to go into it. And the last one, al gmilut hasadim, kindness. Nachon? What's happened to Bnei Israel? That's the main source of Megillat Ruth. Bnei Israel, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, when before he took us out of Egypt, Bnei Israel reached to the 49 level of Tumah. That means the 49 level of impurity. And also, HaKadosh Baruch Hu took us out, and after 49 days, that every day we uplift ourselves, impure ourselves, we reach to the 50th day. That means that we reach to the 50th level of Tahara. In a different way, Hamishim Sha'are Bina, 50th level of Bina. It's a different way. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, with all of that we was idol worshippers in Mitzrayim, have a kindness on us and mercy on us. And took us, not only that he took us from a house of slave, he made from us a nation. And he chose us as his nation. You follow? That's show kindness, nachon? Megillat Ruth is all about kindness. Why? Listen to that, Rabotai. Ruth became a Jewish lady, converted. She left the house of her father, the palace. She left the kingdom. She became a normal Jewish lady. Step number 1. Then she married a Jewish boy. A while later, the Jewish boy died. She became a widow. And no one. A matter of fact, not only she became no one, she became a poor person. She and the mother-in-law. She decided to leave her nation, to leave a luxury, to go back to Eretz Israel as a poor person, a life of poverty. You agree with me? Not only that, she had the option to go back where? To a life of pleasure, to be a princess, not to be a poor. No, she didn't live. She didn't leave the Jewish people. She stayed with the Jewish people. She didn't leave them behind. Not only that, she didn't leave her mother-in-law, Naomi. Ba'asher tilchi elech. Wherever you go, I will follow you. Ba'asher talini alun. Wherever you're going to sleep, I will sleep. Ba'asher tuchli ochal. Whatever you're going to eat, I'll eat. She decided that she's going to do a kindness with the mother-in-law. Rabotai, let's be honest with ourselves. How many daughter-in-law would do that for the mother-in-law? You know, Rabbi Avraham Even Ezra says something very interesting about a mother-in-law and a daughter-in-law. He said, if you show me a daughter-in-law and a mother-in-law getting on together, I'll show you a donkey climbing up on a step ladder. That's Rabbi Avraham Even Ezra. Not for nothing. And here Ruth done a kindness with her mother-in-law Naomi. Didn't left her. They reach to Bethlehem, Eretz Israel. No one knows them. Eretz Canaan. They come to Eretz Israel. It's the time of the harvesting. No food, no nothing. They're starving. No problem. Ruth, the princess, willing to go and beg and to collect a few weeds that she'll have to make from it some flour, some food. With all of that kindness, with all of that pain and suffering, Ruth didn't leave her mother-in-law. Kadosh Baruch Hu tested her. When she saw that she determined that she's going to be Jewish, now it changed. What came from her? David HaMelech. The end of her life, she lived back. Not like a princess, like a queen. Ema Mamlacha. The mother of the kingdom. She started as a queen, lehavdil, as a Gentile. She suffered poverty, and then Kadosh Baruch Hu said that she is determined. She really, Ger Tzedek, brought her back, given her back all what she suffered for those years. Now, I would like to conclude what Hazal tell us in the Gemara Masechet Sotah, Daf Yud Daled Amud Bet. Listen what Hazal say. I'm going to translate word by word. Hazal say there like this. Torah. Tchilata Gmilut Hasadim. The beginning of studying Torah, the beginning of the Torah, all about Torah, you know what is it? Kindness. You want to study Torah. You want to know Torah? It's all about kindness. Then he said, Vesofa, and the end of the Torah. What is the end of the Torah? When you learn and you know Torah and you're a scholar person, what is it about? Vesofa Gmilut Hasadim. Torah Tchilata Gmilut Hasadim. Vesofa Gmilut Hasadim. That means that the beginning and the end of the Torah is one thing. What is it? Kindness. All about kindness. Now we understand why we read Megillat Ruth on Shavuot, because all of Megillat Ruth speak about kindness. And Be'ezrat Hashem, Rabotai, I would like to bless all of us that HaKadosh Baruch Hu will see the kindness that we do in one with each other. And then He will send us speedily Mashiach ben David, the new Mashiach, that we're waiting so long, that come from the descendant of David HaMelech. And He will redeem us speedily in our day. Amen. Ken Yiratzon.